Hello, wonderful people. I'm happy to tell you that today I'm the proud new owner of the Sony ZV-E1, the popular, critically acclaimed, loved by many, hated by a few, reputed to be probably one of the best cameras Sony has ever made. Video cameras, that is. Full frame, small, probably one of the smallest full frame cameras in the Sony lineup. I'm not sure. Has amazing specs. Shares very similar sets of features with the FX3 and the Sony A7IV. There's a video I did a while back ago about how I was too broke to upgrade my camera. I had been using the Sony A7III since 2019. I think I bought it in 2019. The camera came out in 2018. And I also got the Sony A6400 in 2021. Those two cameras, when I got them, they are the ones that ushered me into the world of Sony cameras, and I've never looked back ever since. Everybody knows that Sony cameras are awesome cameras to own, to have, to use. I'm not trying to beat down or bash Nikon users, Canon users. I've been a Nikon user, I've been a Canon user, and those cameras have worked for me. They brought me into the world of photography. I've shot weddings, events, I've done amazing things with those cameras, but there were a couple of things that I was always finding a little bit troublesome for me to master, and things like autofocus, depending on the camera, to give you reliable autofocus all the time, low light performance, and all of those things. When I started using the Sony A7III, amazing camera. The difference in low light capabilities, autofocusing during photo sessions, and all of those things, you know, I was like, why didn't I switch to Sony ever since? How come I never really took Sony as a serious camera company, because Nikon and Canon, you know, they owned the market back then. But ever since I've started using Sony has never disappointed me, and I was so happy to be using those cameras. And you know, after a while, I began to want something a little bit better, especially when you read a lot of camera reviews and watch a lot of videos on YouTube, and you know, you see the amazing advancements in technology, in camera technology. It makes you want to have the next best thing, or to have better things, and especially when you notice some things with your own camera gear that you wish you could be better. Things like rolling shutter when shooting video handheld, things like in-body camera stabilization, things like Wi-Fi connectivity, the ability to manipulate and control your phone using a mobile device like a phone, things like that. Battery, how long the battery lasts, you know, those are little things that will make you think about upgrading your camera. And for me in particular, first of all, it was the fact that the Sony A7III, I wasn't really able to get continuous focus tracking, especially when shooting talking head videos like this, or vlog style videos, especially when you're shooting 4K in the highest specs. Maybe you're shooting 4K, shooting S-Log, or one of the picture profiles, or one of the log profiles. It kind of disables some autofocus functions and things like that. And then with the Sony A6400, that is supposed to have better autofocus tracking, I was also finding out that it had terrible rolling shutter and lack of in-body stabilization. So whenever I'm going out, I'm trying to shoot a vlog, I'm not getting very good results. The rolling shutter for the A6400 was the main issue why I wanted to change the camera. The rolling shutter was terrible. So even when you are holding it as steady as possible and panning, you know, you see all those wavy lines, just not good enough. Battery life too, and then the fact that it's not a full frame camera. So when I heard about the Sony ZV-E1 and the fact that it's a full frame camera in a body size that is comparable to the A6400, you know, really not much bigger, quite bigger, but not really much bigger, at least for a full frame, really small. And I heard about the video qualities, the autofocus tracking, the AI enhanced features, for instance, auto framing as the subject is moving, and so on and so forth, and just the better menu system, the touch screen. But with the Sony A7III and the A6400, the touch screen capabilities are really quite limited. So those are some of the things that made me start hunting for a better camera. I really didn't have the money to go for the FX3 and other full frame cameras like that, the A7IV. They're talking about $3,500 and above, $4,000. That's crazy in these economic times that we're living in right now. And so that was one of the themes of the last video I did, where I said, you know, what if you're too broke to upgrade your camera? And so I thought about the fact that, you know, the best way to deal with that situation is to just fall back in love with your camera. And I did that. I took time out to learn how to use my camera the way it was, and learn how to manage the features and just be productive, because the truth is that it's not really about the gear you own. You know, time and time again, I'm reminded about the fact that it's not really about the gear you own, it's really about what you do with it, because people have shot amazing things with their phones. People are doing amazing things with their iPhone 13, and so it's really not about the gear, right? But anyhow, once in a while, you do feel the need to upgrade. This video is not really a review, a technical review of this camera. I'm not even going to do that kind of video because there are countless videos in the last 2 years. This camera came out last year. In the last 1 year plus, the number of reviews and YouTube videos dedicated to reviewing this camera is so much that for me to just go out there and do another video reviewing it, it don't make sense. And besides, I'm not really a camera tech expert. I'm not a nerd in that sense. So I might not be able to spill out or spit out all those highfalutin technical terms like the 10 bits 422, all of those things. Not that I don't know them, but I still find it hard to talk about them or teach them because my level of expertise, I would say probably I'm not up there yet. I'm not a full-time cinematographer, filmmaker, Hollywood filmmaker and all of those things. I'm a YouTuber and I make documentaries and videos. I create content. But I'll do some videos that talk about those features, especially how I'm using them and how I find that they help the quality of my work to improve and help my work to improve. This video is really just about me telling you that I have upgraded to this fantastic new camera, the Sony ZV-E1, a full frame camera, and these are the specs of the camera. So in case you're wondering, this camera is all rigged up. I have on it a small rig cage which expands the features of this camera in terms of its body function, so I'm able to attach other things. Like now, for instance, I also bought this small rig side handle, so this allows me to hold it like this for handheld shooting. I also bought this small rig hand strap, allows me to hold it like this, maybe when taking photographs and I don't want to drop the camera. So these are awesome. This microphone wind muffler came with it. So I'll just quickly give you a short history of how I got to buy this camera. No, I didn't come out some large amount of money or strike any new deal. I came across this website called mpb.com.uk.com. I need to check that website out. Let me just quickly check. So this is it: buy, sell or trade used photo and video kit. Shop for all the used camera kits you need, sell to MPB and get an instant quote, free shipping and fast payments. And I tell you that everything that they say on the website is true. Right now, I'm in the UK and I'm not sure if they are in other parts of the world like the US. Probably need to check that up on their website. But I know they're based in the UK. And I am sure that there are other websites like mpb.com in other parts of the world, in the US, and even in Nigeria, West Africa, where I come from. I'm sure there are websites like that. So I hit them up. I told them that I had the Sony A7III and the Sony A6400 cameras used to sell. All you need to do is just give them a brief description of the condition, let them know how good it is and whether it is really damaged body-wise and all. But basically there are three categories. So either your device is excellent or good or fairly good or used or something like that. And mine were good, you know. So I packaged them up. They sent someone to pick it up. As soon as they got it, they let me know, they reviewed it, and the good news was that the condition of my camera were better than I had registered them. So I was able to get a little bit more money for them. And on this website, I saw this Sony ZV-E1 and I clicked on it and I said, that's the camera I want. So all I did was top up. So I topped up some money. You know, this camera, if you're buying it brand new, it's about $2,200 or $2,300 or pound. And I paid about a quarter of that. So it really wasn't stressful for me financially. Now, yes, I don't have two cameras anymore. I have just one. And yes, the Sony A7 III is still a fantastic camera, especially for photography. And a lot of people will say that the Sony A7 III as a photo camera is better than the Sony ZV-E1 because it shoots higher megapixels. So you're getting pictures that you can blow up. So for professional work where a client may want to blow up their pictures, you may not be safe using this because this is just 12 megapixel. I really didn't mind because it's not like I take photos to enlarge. I don't do that level of commercial work. When I start doing that level of commercial work, I will get the money to buy the A7 IV, A7 V or something bigger. But I do shoot a lot of videos for YouTube, for my own content and documentaries, and so for me, I leaned more towards this camera because of the video capabilities. So that's how I was able to get this camera. I was able to trade off my old gear and add money and buy this on the website. And so that's really a fantastic way to be able to upgrade your equipment. So you can say this is a follow-on to my other video where I said I was too broke to upgrade my equipment. So the other hack to being able to upgrade equipment is find stuff you can sell and really think about what you need and what you don't need. I had 2 cameras before. I wasn't really doing much work in terms of commercial work. Most of the time those cameras were sitting down in my room, in my house, doing nothing, and I even made videos about how I rarely use my Sony A7III and my Sony A6400, and I tend to use more often my DJI cameras, which are pocket size and small, like the one I'm using to film this video right now, the DJI Pocket 3 and the DJI Action 4. So why have 2 cameras if you're not using them? So I sold 2 of them off to buy this 2023 version of a camera. It's really fantastic. I recommend that you go out there and check the views. Anyway, that being said, I'm just happy to share with you guys that I have this camera. Yes, as you can see, it's well kitted. I've christened my camera Zorro. So on my WhatsApp status, I was sharing a lot of humorous updates about how I got this camera. And so this camera is called Zorro. So I'm going to be sharing the chronicles of Zorro. Going to be going on adventures with this camera. I hope you learned something from this video. Really, sometimes when I talk like this, I feel like I'm just ranting. So in this video, I spoke to you about how I got this. I gave you a little bit about the features of this camera and why it's a great camera to own or to have. And I also shared with you how I got it, just in case you're wondering how to get and upgrade your camera. You might look out for those kind of sites. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more videos.